So this weekend, tomorrow, at the time of recording this video, we're going to have a very good, very intriguing fight between Regis Prograis, who defends his 140-pound WBC title, versus Devin the Dream Haney. Now, Devin the Dream Haney is coming up in weight from the 135-pound division, the lightweight division, where he was undisputed champion. Now he's relinquished his titles, vacated them, and he steps up against Regis Prograis. Brilliant fight this is going to be for me. It's definitely a very respectable one by Devin Haney, because he's stepping up here, and he's not stepping up against a mug or an easy fight for himself. He's stepping up against somebody who we know has mixed it against the best. And he himself, of course, mixed it amongst some of the best guys in the lightweight division while he was there, especially Vasily Lomachenko. So let's have a talk about this, who's going to win this fight. And for me, I'll tell you straight away, my pick is for Devin the Dream Haney to win this one on points. And that is mainly down to the styles of both fighters. Because throughout their careers, I kind of been able to watch quite a bit of both guys. Haney during his sort of matchroom days, I've watched a lot of his stuff, and now he's sort of back with them and doing some work with them fight by fight, I think. And Haney, the way he boxes, he's very much the pure boxer. He's a pure boxer who works behind the jab, who moves very well, has got good, quick feet and pretty quick hands too. He's a guy that will hold you when he needs to hold you, and he's the type of guy that is willing to win a fight ugly if he has to win it ugly, and he does pretty much all of his work on the outside. He's not really much of a inside fighter or a brawler. He's not a guy that punches particularly hard. He's very much your pure boxer, relying on speed, movement, ring IQ, and that's pretty much his game. He fights on the outside, and he's been doing it very, very successfully. There have been times where he's come unstuck, like for example the Lomachenko fight, which was his last outing, where I wouldn't go as far as to call it a robbery, but in my view, and the view of a lot of people who watched that fight, I felt that Lomachenko won it. I thought Lomachenko won it. Lomachenko sort of landed the more meaningful, telling shots. I thought he kind of imposed himself better on the fight. But Haney, it was close. It was close. Haney did have some great moments in the fight too. So, but I think with Haney, he sort of struggles against guys that punch in combination, guys that punch hard, and he struggles against when he's under pressure, and against guys that throw sort of lots of punches. So like when Lomachenko, for example, was throwing in combination, when he wasn't content to just one at a time, two at a time, when he put his hands together, that's where Devin Haney struggled. When he sort of got into range quick and let his hands go, that's where Haney came off second best at certain times. And I think for me with Prograis is he's kind of a pressure fighter, but he likes to come forward, but he also kind of stands off you, and Prograis kind of looks for the perfect shot. He likes to counter you on the front foot. That's kind of his style, like in his recent outings. That's how he's been fighting. So he's been more sort of the boxer puncher rather than the out and out pressure fighter. And I think going into a fight against Haney, if he performs like that, where he's kind of trying to jab with Haney, I don't think he's going to be able to win that battle of the jabs. If he tries to fight how he did in his last fight, where he's sort of standing off on the outside, yes, he's landing the occasional big left hand, and he was able to put his opponent down. But you do that against Haney, where you sort of stand off and you look for that perfect shot, as Prograis been doing, then you're kind of playing into Devin Haney's you're sort of playing his game. You're sort of fighting Devin Haney's fight for him, because Haney will be happy for you to just stand off him, and he'll just ping you all night long with his jab and with his straight shots from the outside, and that's what I kind of think Haney's gonna be able to do to Prograis, because if Prograis sort of does what he's been doing lately, where he's been boxing a little bit more and trying to be very accurate with his punches, very precise, and nothing wrong with that in theory, but I think when you're going against someone like Haney, you need to sort of charge into range very quickly. You need to close the distance very quickly. I don't think you can't stand off a guy like Devin Haney, because Devin Haney would love that and he likes that. And his struggles, even against guys like Jorge Linares, who's past his best, when they put him under pressure, throw combinations, that's where Haney struggles. And with Prograis, he's not really from, especially the last fight, he's not really a guy that just lets clusters of punches go. He lets 1 and 2 go at a time. He tries to be very accurate with his work. He does punch hard, he does do damage, but he's not really one of those guys that throws punches in bunches, and that's why I kind of favor Devin Haney going into this, because I think Devin Haney is going to stand on the outside. He's going to use his movement, and the way that Haney can lose this is if he does stand in the center of the ring and try to trade shots with Regis Prograis. I think that's where Devin Haney could come off second best. But in my opinion, going by his recent fights, he's not gonna stand in the middle of the ring, and he's not gonna be silly enough to trade with Regis Prograis. For Prograis' part, I think what he has to do to win this is he has to, as I've said earlier, sort of close the distance on Devin Haney and do his work from sort of mid-range, try to hold the center of the ring, and basically from the word go, I think he's got to put Devin Haney under lots and lots of pressure with his feet. And I think, contrary to his habits in recent fights, I think Regis Prograis got to let his hands go in combination, because I think that's where Devin Haney will struggle. If you give him 1 at a time, 2 at a time, he can deal with that. He can step away, he can move away and whatnot. But if you give him clusters of punches, if you punch in combination, I think that's where Haney would struggle. And I think with Prograis, he's got to go back to a sort of similar style to what he had against Josh Taylor, where okay, a lot of the times he was coming up second best against his fellow Southpaw and Josh Taylor, but he was always there. He was in Taylor's face, and it was punch for punch. It was, letting his hands go in combinations and making it into a brawl with Taylor. Now, he didn't end up in a win, but it did get very, very close. That fight was a very tight fight. I was there live for that, Taylor versus Prograis. And I think Prograis got to go back to that. He's got to get in Haney's face, get onto his chest and work away. He's got to invest in Devin Haney's body, as I always like to say, invest in the body early, go to work downstairs from early, and try to sort of slow Devin Haney's legs down, because Haney relies on his legs, relies on his movement, and I think that's what Prograis got to do, just put the pressure on him. And contrary to what he's been doing lately, he's got to throw some combinations, got to be willing that even, okay, you might miss with the first one, but throw a second, a third, and a fourth one, and sort of disrupt the rhythm of Devin Haney. Because I think if you stand off and you try to box, you try to jab with Devin Haney, that's not going to work, because that's what Devin Haney thrives on. That's his strength. That's what he does. That's how he wins his fight. So you've got to find some way of just disrupting the rhythm, getting into Haney's face, and bombs away, letting your hands go, trying to hurt him, because I think that's the only chance Prograis got. But for me, I think the more likely outcome is that Devin Haney, due to the style of being a pure boxer, a guy that really relies on his movement. He's still young guy. He's still 25 years old. He's still fresh and everything. And I just think Devin Haney's pure boxing is going to work against Regis Prograis. I don't think Prograis is going to be able to do what he needs to do against Devin Haney. I think Haney's going to be able to sort of outbox him, hold Prograis, frustrate him and everything, and he's going to be able to do enough to win this one on points. I don't think he's really going to be able to hurt Regis Prograis or really do damage like that, but I do think he is going to be able to sort of outbox him on the outside. And he, as we know, Haney's got a good engine. He can do this for 12 rounds. He can box on the back foot for 12 rounds, and for me, that's what I think he's going to do, and that's how I think he's going to win it, by outboxing Prograis, who may try to be a bit too precise. So anyway, let me know your thoughts about this fight in the comment section below. Until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out. Remember to like and subscribe.